gentlemen, we must press on apace. We have such a fine show for you tonight. I know you're going to enjoy it. Because all through this series, I've been talking about adverts, you know, and marketing. And I feel I should explain myself more clearly. There is one type of ad that is worse than any other, more deceitful and destructive, far worse than the obvious candidates, Ferrero Rocher, whatever, worse even than those crap German ads for, you know, Kinder, you know, the ones, the chocolate is a little sweet inside, of course you will enjoy it, your child will also enjoy it. I think you will. I'm constantly expecting Annie Robinson to have a go at those ads, you know? Not because the kid might eat the sweet, but because of the appalling dubbing, you know? We investigate the scandal of German kids being passed off as British in Kinder adverts. Can you imagine living with Annie Robinson? Oh, she's always complaining about everything. She's so righteous. You know, if you didn't make your bed just right, she'd be knocking on your bedroom door all feisty, folding her arms and winking like ticking you off. You undertook to tidy your room, and your secret cameras have revealed that all you did was push everything under the bed. I mean, what a life that woman leads, eh? How depressing, sneaking round Britain trying to find yogurts that are past their sell-by date. Anyway, I digress. I was telling you, was I not, about the world's worst adverts. In my opinion, worse even than those ads that pretend to be youth revolutions, you know? Where fizzy drinks become symbols of youth and freedom, and Benetton reckon they're in the front line of the fight against racism. It's so cynical. United Colours of Benetton, they are actually trying to suggest that the fact that all their jumpers are different colours is some kind of multicultural statement. Of course, can't think why Nelson Mandela didn't spot that one, eh? Never mind a 40-year war of liberation, he should have given everyone different coloured jumpers, shouldn't he? Handed round the Smarties, one packet of fruit-flavoured polos, apartheid might never have happened. The real colour issue in the designer clothing industry is that the people who buy the clothes tend to be a different colour to the people in the third world sweatshops who make them. Yeah, not the worst type of that. Oh, no. I'm talking about the worst. Worse even, oh, I don't know, even than the telecom ads. I mean, telecom always have ads, don't they? Why? Why do telecom have ads? When I was a kid, there was BuzzFeed. Then we had Maureen Lipman, Bob Hoskins, Hugh Laurie, Rory McGrath, a Sumpter off Ballycay. What is the point? Over the years, BT have spent literally tens of millions of pounds informing us that if we ever happen to fancy talking to someone who might be in a different room, we might like to think about using the phone. Well, there's a handy hint, because we were confused on that issue, weren't we? Years we were trying to work it out. What's that plastic thing on the table, eh? Curly wires, got a handle, no idea. Rings occasionally, I can't work it out. Then out of the blue, you see Bob Hoskins on the telly, and it all becomes clear. Here, mums. Ever thought your mates might like to hear from ya? Give them a ring on the phone! Oh, I miss Bob Hoskins. He was the best of the lot, the BT lot. Nowadays they use real people. That's good. You know, I came back to Telecom because I found their weekend standard rates quite competitive. I mean, for heaven's sake. I found my lengthy calls to sex lines much more affordable with Telecom's new tosser's toll. I mean, we don't want that, do we? We want real people. Bring back Bob. We want a big, fat, cockney bastard wandering around here, talking jolly cockney bollocks. He cared, he did. Oh, Bob, he cared. He brought families back together. Do you remember his bits of advice? I miss them. He'd be there in the living room. Here, Dads, if your daughter rings up from college, don't just hand her over to Mum. Why not have a chat with her yourself? There's a thought, eh? Because you were confused, weren't you? You thought you were supposed to say, oh, it's you little slut. Here's your mum, bugger off. We used to own Telecom. Yeah, we did. We don't own it anymore, no. But the people who do own it are making so much money out of us. They can afford to pay Bob Hoskins God knows how much money to piss off the entire country. Because, I mean, that's the point. We pay for those ads. I mean, not only are we sitting on a sofa cringing at them, but we pay for them. It ought to be on the bills. I mean, they itemise everything else, don't they? Oh, yeah. Telecom, they're very careful to itemise the bill. You've got local calls, international calls, rental of phones, should be Bob Hoskins' wages. I think we should be told. We should be sat there over breakfast, opening our bills, going, darling, have you seen how much we're paying Bob Hoskins this month? This is absurd. We haven't used his advice that much, have we? No. That's all we got from the great privatisation revolution. More ads. Powerjet. They advertise electricity. Now, what are we supposed to make of that? What are they hoping we'll do? Oh, that electricity looks good, doesn't it? Whoa. Oh, I think I'll leave the fridge door open, yes. Run the toaster on empty, yeah. Powergen sponsor the weather. After the weather on ITV, every night it says, Powergen, supplying you with electricity, whatever the weather. Well, thanks a lot. I mean, we do pay for it, you silly bastards. I mean, incredible. You mean even if it's raining, we're still able to turn the lights on? Well, there's a proud boast. Except, hang on a minute. Didn't the electricity board used to do that perfectly successfully for the previous 50 years without feeling the need to boast about it on the telly? The water companies are the same. They make ads. What is the point of advertising water? It's like a government information film. Don't forget to breathe. I mean, maybe they should get Bob Hoskins out of retirement. Get him to do the water ads. Yeah, mums. Ever notice that bent bit of metal pipe hanging over your basin? That's a tap. Why not turn it on? Have a glass of water. Dad's mouthful of toothpaste foam, rinse it out with some water. The whole privatisation revolution was done in the name of choice. That was the word. More choice would mean better services. But choice does not always mean improvement, as anyone who has cable or satellite television will tell you. It just means a thinner spread of the shit, that's all. What has choice actually produced? All we got from 15 years of scorched earth privatisation was more adverts, more marketing. They flogged the buses. Did we get any more buses? Of course we didn't. We just got more names for buses. Oh yeah, it's a lovely new world now. You don't get on a bus anymore, no. You get on a city hopper, a stop and shopper, a town around, a scuttle shuttle, a wank tank. They flogged the railways. We used to have one railway company. Now we've got 20, we've got 30. Does that mean more trains? No. Since privatisation, scarcely a single piece of new rolling stock has entered service. It just means more names for trains. You don't get on an intercity anymore, no. You get on the Midland Golden Pullman, or the West Coast Eagle, or a Virgin. Now there's an apt name. Virgin trains. They tend to come later. So much choice. I think you should call them sad old slapper train by the look of them. Anyway, thank you for you get this choice, and they tell you about the choice all the time. Thank you for using Great Western Northern Flying Arrow. We never forget you have a choice. Yeah, you can pay twice as much for after service, or you can piss off. Speaking of which, I've got to digress on this. Why do train guards have to keep talking to you? Why can't they just shut up? Departure is facilitated through doors which are situated on the edge of the train. Customers are reminded that lavatories are provided for the use of customers. These are provided for the purposes of urination and defecation. Customers are reminded to drop their shredders before commencing. Gentlemen should take care to replace knob before re-zipping. It's bullshit! Do they think that calling us customers instead of passengers makes being late any better? It's all marketing. There's no second class anymore. Oh, no. We live in a classless society now. There's only standard class. And, of course, then there's 5th, 6th and 7th class as well, cunningly marketed as super savers. A super-duper savey-saver. A super-duper-duper savey-savers. Those in possession of a savey-saver may use the front portion of any train on the first Tuesday in Lent in a leap year. Now, look, mate, I can flog you a super Apex savey saver. You won't actually be, you won't actually be entitled to get on a train, but you will be allowed to run along the side of the train. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll pursue this topic in a few moments, but right now, let's swing our way across the world to welcome once again Roy and HG.
Well, very much, Ben. Yes, it's Roy and HG on the tug once again. Now, Michael Flaherty, the former Lord of the Dance from the Riverdance show, has decided to seek new thrills in a different career. He's decided to become a boxer. Roy, you've had a look at Michael in the gym, sharpening up his skills. What are the elements of his craft, his ring craft?
This is Michael Flaherty.
Yes.
The Lord of the Dance.
Oh, yes, I've introduced him as such.
Yes, I know. I'm just fixing him in my mind from memory. He's that really little bloke.
Yeah.
He dances like crazy. Yeah. But he goes for hours like that. Hours. Yeah. And he's got really bloody puny arms. Yeah. He's got big legs, big thighs from doing that bloody dance style he's got. Yeah. He never uses his arms.
No.
How's he going to adapt to boxing?
Well,
he's not going to work.
no.
He's going to let a goose. Right. He's going to let the really bloody stupid. Ladies and gentlemen, one corner, the Lord of the Dance. Here he comes. It'll be okay if he can get the bloke down and bloody...
Do a lot of head work.
I'd back him if the bloke rolled out instead of his opponent. Went a little bit berserk and tripped on the way out, rolled towards him, and he'd be a bloody goner.
Yeah, I tell you what, it could be a rope-a-dope style. Come on, hit me, like that, until he wears the opponent out.
Yeah, until the opponent falls over.
That's right. Now, look, obviously he did have a fatal flaw when he was performing with Riverdance, and that was that, you know, he liked to get on the job pretty bloody sharply coming off stage. Now, this is going to bugger him up no end in the fight caper, isn't it, Roy?
My understanding was he used to get on the job in between, which like costume changes. You know, he'd duck off for you know, he'd do a little bit of the dance, then go off for a cosy change, get on the job, and then come back out in a new cosy, and then go back out on the job again. I don't know, I think he was pretty indiscriminate with who he chose,
Yeah, well,
but if he's going to adapt that to boxing, you'd have to imagine it'd be between
rounds.
Yeah. They'd have to bring in some sort of special sort of partition.
Yeah. Something they put around a bed in a hospital.
Yes. So instead of a stool being put through, there'd be a thing come around and someone
help
in. Yeah. Well, then you'd see a bit of botany work.
Yeah.
Stretching the petition a little bit.
Yes, and then it'd be ding, out it all goes.
Out it comes.
Now, the next bit of the puzzle is just map out a bit of a career for him. You know, who would you like, let's say there was a vacant WBF belt, who'd you like to see him take on first over the 9 rounds with the intermissions?
I'd like to see him take on Lennox Lewis.
Yes, who would?
There's Frank Bruno. I don't know if Frank's fighting anymore, but I'd like to see little bloke against big bloke.
Yeah.
I think everyone wants to see that. If a big old bloke against little bloke who's
He doesn't move his arms.
No. Then maybe Aussie Joe Bugner. That's a really big box-headed bloke against a really little bloke with big legs.
Yeah. So there has been another one of the big issues of the world, cracked, boxed and buried. We'll see you next week when, once again, we're on the tug.
All right.
Thank you, Roy and HG. Now, please don't run away with the idea that I think all adverts are bad. I love adverts, as long as they're honest and fair. For instance, I have a play called Popcorn running at the Apollo Theatre on Shaftesbury Avenue in London's West End. It won the Laurence Olivier Award for Best Comedy and tickets are available. Now, that's a good advert. I approve of that. But I was talking about the worst ads. Shameless, I can't believe it. And was I not? And here's my vote. Here's my vote. Worst ad. Car ads. Huh? Car adverts, because they don't peddle a dream. No. They peddle a lie. A complete and utter Orwellian fiction. It's always the same, isn't it? It's beautiful, everything's beautiful. Vivaldi's playing a beautiful countryside. There's a guy or a girl, or a guy and a girl. They're so smug, they're so happy, they're so in control of their lives, they're so smug, they're so happy. I'm not surprised they're smug. I'm not surprised they're happy. There are never any other cars on the roads on which they drive. No cars in front, no cars behind. You'd be smug, we'd be happy. The ad keeps telling me it's a Ford, it's a Toyota, it's a Peugeot. I don't give a toss what the flipping car is. Tell me where the road is. When the reality is virtual gridlock. Let's have a few real ads. Buy a small tin box on wheels and sit in it, swearing at people. Do you remember the last Peugeot ad? Oh, yeah. I always remember that one. They ran it for about 5 years. It was so good, and so cool, so calm, so empowering. You've got to search for the hero inside yourself. Search for the hero inside. Well, that's exactly how you feel in your car, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? It's 8 o'clock in the morning, the kids are screaming in the back, you're already late, you haven't had a cup of coffee yet, but you've got to search for the hero inside. The problem is that these ads flatter the secret belief we all share, particularly blokes. Our secret obsessive belief that there's some special mystique to driving that only we and maybe Damon Hill have mastered, you know what I'm saying? It's funny, isn't it? Think about it. The amount of vanity perfectly sane, normal people, particularly blokes, can invest in the way they handle a Nissan Micra on the punishing Sainsbury's run. Dodgy corner bar was true, you know what I'm saying? Because I know how to drive a car. I mean, you want to know how to tell a bad driver? Here's a rule of thumb. You're going to get in a car with someone, think they might be dodgy, shake his hand. Shake his hand before you get in. That's right, shake his hand. If he's overly proud of the firmness of his handshake, you know, it's, all right, mate, don't get in a car with him, right? I've never understood why some men seem to feel the need to assert themselves. When you meet them, they shake their hand, they assert themselves like crushing the life out of your hand. That's supposed to mean they're a good bloke, you know, it's all right, mate, you know, suddenly you're on your knees. You go, yeah, I'm all right. Your eyes are watering. The prat doesn't really feel he said hello properly till he shut down your central nervous system. You don't do it, lads. Nobody's impressed. We're not thinking, oh, what a really good regular bloke, he's broken my hand. Oh, but he's a two-fisted, no-nonsense kind of guy. What a stroppy, cocky git. All right, mate, so you got a firm grip. So what? Who cares? I wouldn't want to be your knob tosser. Anyway, the car ads. Back to car ads, as I was saying. They try to appeal to, well, let's face it, the firm handshaker in us all. I mean, did you see the last Nissan campaign? It's a driver's car, so drive it. Oh, nice tip, because I was thinking about burying it in the back of the car. Just once, I'd like to see a car ad that bore some tiny resemblance to the reality of actually driving, the experience of the car. I mean, you know the new Renault ad, you know, with the lightning seeds? Oh, it's all lovely and postmodern and weird, isn't it? Things could be marvellous. How about instead of all the dancing rugby players and the little girls in tutus, they could have people shouting and swearing and waving their fists at each other, and they could surround the car by traffic cones and stick a broken down bus in front of it. And the little kid who curtses at the end could get out her asthma inhaler and try and draw a decent breath, couldn't she? And the music could be Chris Rea's Road to Hell. Just once. I'd like to see a car ad that told the truth, just once. I'd like to see Nicole. Lovely Nicole. Oh, Nicole. Her and Papa are a little worried about that relationship, Dodgy, you know what I'm saying? They'd like to see Nicole. She runs out of her French chateau. She'd say, Papa, Papa. Papa, Papa. I'm so cute. Papa, Papa. She runs over to a little car, it's a cute little pretty car. She says, oh, Belloc, some bastard nicked my radio again. Just once. I'd like to see Papa and Nicole do something the rest of us do. Have lunch in a Little Chef. Little Chef are a classic example of style over content. That's what I'm talking about. Style over content. You get the menu, right? They bring it in, it's like Rolf Harris's wobbly board. It's a huge laminated surfboard boinging away, creating a wind blowing us all across the restaurant. 18 square feet of gastronomic temptation. You're reading it. It all looks so good. You want it all. Oh, it's so good. There's pictures of everything, you know. The all-day brekkie, the great Brit burger, the little danking donuts, the steamed pudding custard. Oh, you can't decide what to have. You can't. It's so good. You can't decide what to have. And when you get your food, it's even better because you can't decide what you've got. Little chefs are taking over the country. They're everywhere. That's what 2 decades of choice have produced. A little chef every 200 yards across the whole of Britain. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back for that thesis one more time, but right now, well, here's a treat. We're just going to trundle across the studio to meet the man. Ladies and gentlemen, misunderstand me, we all appreciate having a car, but we don't like what they do to us, you know? Now, this week is Don't Choke Britain Week. And people are being encouraged to think about walking, take shorter journeys, you know, use the bus maybe. It might even cheer us up. You know, it might. Because let's face it, cars change us. We act in a way that we would never allow ourselves to act under any other circumstances. Think about it. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. If you were walking along the high street, imagine you were walking along the high street, and someone in front of you is walking a little bit slower than you. Now, would you feel justified in jumping up and down in the air screaming, "Can you believe it? This brat, this arsehole, can you believe this tosspot? Learn to walk, why don't you? Get some walking lessons, bastards!" If there was a little old granny in front of you, hobbling along with a Zimmer frame, would you feel justified in getting yourself right up behind her and trying to force her to speed up? Right, I'll make you walk a bit faster, you silly bitch. You think you can walk slow? I'll get you moving, you cow. Think you can walk slow in front of me, do you, you sad cow? I'll force you along, and if you can't, then get off the sodding pavement. If you were walking past Boots, and a young mum came out of the front of the shop, and in front of there, laden with shopping, 3 kids to look after, would you be screaming at her, "I'm here, I'm here, did you see me, did you look, you blind cow? Think you own the pavement, typical woman walker?" Lads, do you carry a little torch around in your back pocket so that you can whip it out when you don't like people and flash it in their eyes? Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen, except for a final very special treat. Our guest this week is a legend. He's soon to play a solo gig at the Royal Albert Hall and then reform one of the great British groups of all time. Yes! Culture Club are coming back with a brand new single, but for now, please welcome playing live here in our studio with our own band, the incomparable Boy George!